The streets were still waking up when the first distant drumbeat rolled through the air. It wasn't loud yet, but it carried weight, like history itself was breathing. People paused mid-step, coffee cups held still, hearts quietly racing. Something important was about to happen, and everyone could feel it as the bands and troops began arriving at Wellington Barracks on Coronation Day. It wasn't just a ceremony unfolding. It was a reminder that behind every uniform is a human story, and behind every historic moment is a quiet act of kindness that holds it all together. Before we continue, if stories like this warm your heart and remind you of the goodness still alive in the world, please subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. You're watching Pure Kindness World, where we believe even the smallest human moments can change how we see everything. The sun slowly climbed above the rooftops as soldiers marched in steady rhythm toward Wellington Barracks. Their boots hit the ground with precision, but their eyes told a softer story. Some looked focused, others proud, and a few quietly nervous. For many of them, this wasn't just a duty. It was a once-in-a-lifetime moment they would tell their children about someday. Crowds gathered along the route, families wrapped in jackets, children sitting on shoulders. A little boy waved a small flag, and one soldier, without breaking stride, gave him a quick smile. It was brief, almost unnoticed, but that smile meant everything. In that second, history felt personal. For viewers in the United States, this scene might feel far away, across an ocean. But the feeling is familiar. It's the same emotion you see when a hometown parade passes by, when service members march, and communities come together. Different country, same heart. People honoring something bigger than themselves, while quietly caring for those beside them. As the bands arrived, music filled the air, rich and steady. The brass shined under the morning light, and the drums echoed off the stone buildings. But behind the sound was something softer. One band member adjusted another's uniform collar. A commanding officer paused to help a young recruit steady his grip. These small gestures weren't part of the script, but they were the soul of the moment. Kindness often hides in places we don't expect. We imagine it only in dramatic rescues or grand speeches. But here, on Coronation Day, kindness showed up as reassurance, teamwork, and silent respect. It showed up in patience during long hours, in shared water bottles, and in words whispered to calm shaking nerves. An elderly woman in the crowd wiped tears from her eyes. She later said she wasn't crying because of the crown or the pageantry. She was crying because she saw unity. She saw people standing together, strangers sharing space, smiles passing from one face to another without words. Inside Wellington Barracks, the troops assembled, every movement careful and practiced. Yet even there, behind closed gates, the human moments continued. A laugh broke out over a remembered mistake from training. A letter from home was reread quickly, folded, and tucked safely away. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Sometimes it's simply knowing someone believes in you. This historic arrival mattered because it wasn't perfect or distant. It was real. It reminded everyone watching that history isn't only written by crowns and ceremonies. It's written by people choosing to show up for one another, even on the biggest days. For all of us, no matter where we live, this story carries a simple lesson. Kindness doesn't pause for important moments. It becomes more important during them. When pressure is high and eyes are watching, how we treat each other matters even more. As the final notes echoed and the troops stood ready, there was a shared understanding in the air. Today would be remembered, but what would last even longer were the quiet acts of humanity that made the day feel meaningful. May this moment inspire us to notice the small chances we get each day to be kind. A smile, a helping hand, a moment of patience. History is happening all around us, and kindness is always invited to march alongside it.